Hey everyone. I meant to do this video a while ago, like shortly after the new movie came out, but stuff came up, I did other videos instead, and so I'm doing it now. Today I'm going to be ranking Planet of the Apes. Since the new movie came out last year, I'm just going to put out a general spoiler alert. I don't know how spoilery I'll get for any of them, but just in case. Starting off, number 10 is Planet of the Apes 2001. This movie has, like, three key things going against it. For one, it's a Tim Burton movie, but it doesn't feel like Tim Burton. It has absolutely none of his flair. It has none of his signature style, for better or worse. And so it just leaves you wondering, okay, what was the point of hiring him? Second is Mark Wahlberg. He was grossly miscast. He does his best, but yeah, he was not the right fit for this role. And third is, I think, what turned off a lot of people in this movie. It's the fact that the apes act too much like apes. Like, when you look at the original, and then when you look at the newest movies, the apes have developed human intelligence. They still, like, move around like apes and whatnot, but in Tim Burton's version, it takes it up to 11, like, not this in general, like a specific moment where Helena Bonham Carter and whoever was in the scene with her, it's implied that they're going to get down and dirty. And it's just, ugh, what the hell? Like, it's good to have some of that because they are still apes, but it's too much. It's just too much. I mean, the whole point of the original is that the apes have become the new humanity, with all the good and bad that comes with that. And so this kind of misses that. And also, this movie can't decide what it wants to be about thematically. It dips its toes into, like, racism, dips its toes into, like, slavery, it dips its toes into, like, the caste system. But it never really fully commits to any of them, and so it just comes off as a mess. It's not completely awful. Mark Wahlberg aside, the acting is mostly good. Tim Roth, especially. He does go over the top, but it works, I think, given the tone of the movie. The scene where he talked to his father is probably the best scene in the movie. So here's a fun fact. Everybody who's seen this movie already knows this, but his father in that scene is played by an uncredited Charlton Heston, the star of the original. And when Tim Roth found out that he was going to be sharing a scene with Charlton Heston, he was upset. He has said in interviews that he would not have taken the role if he knew that they would be sharing a scene, because Tim Roth is a staunch gun control advocate, and at the time, Charlton Heston was the head of the NRA. But they are professionals, so they put their personal differences aside, and they did the scene, and frankly, the movie is better for it. It's one of the few times in the movie where Tim Roth isn't overacting, and yeah, it works.
I don't have much time. Tell me about this human who troubles you.
I will capture him with little trouble.
No, you're not telling me everything. You believe he is not born of this world. Has he come alone?
Yes.
More will come looking for him.
How can you possibly know?
I have something to tell you. Something my father told me, and his father told him, back along our bloodlines to Simos.
The one area where this movie improves on the original is the ape suits. For as great as those original movies are, and for as impressive as those suits were for the time, technology has improved greatly since then. Even though this is only 2001, it was so much better. The score is 2 out of 5. Number 9 is Battle for the Planet of the Apes. This is the weakest of those original 5. It sent the series out not with a bang, but with a whimper. It's still a step up from Burton's version, or rather, Burton's version was a step down from it. For a movie called Battle of the Planet of the Apes, the battles aren't all that great. They're just fine. The cinematography, editing, the choreography are all competent. And that's all. There's nothing really special or remarkable about them, except that almost everyone involved is wearing ape suits. I can excuse the silly stuff in this movie because these have always been silly movies. And so it's fine. It's par for the course. Even in the original, yes, it's tackling some pretty heavy themes, but at its core, it is still just a fairly silly movie. And that's part of the charm. It's that campy charm that just makes it work. And so I can forgive that here, but when you don't have the rich and deeply explored themes to back that up, it kind of doesn't work as well. The themes here are explored. Not with much in the way of grace or subtlety, but they are explored. My score is 2.5 out of 5. Number 8 is Beneath the Planet of the Apes. This one is kind of like the Jaws 2 of the franchise, in that if it wasn't a sequel to an absolute classic, it probably would have been better regarded. Because on its own, it's a good movie that pales in comparison to the original. The one thing this movie has over the original is the ape suits. Maybe they made new ones, or maybe the lighting is just better, but they look a little bit more convincing than they did in the first movie. They're still not completely convincing. It's still obviously just people in suits, but it looks a little bit better than it did in the first movie, so I will give it that much. The problem is that, for the most part, it's just a carbon copy of the original, with new characters. You even have the lead, who is a very obvious Charlton Heston stand-in, which gets weird when Charlton Heston himself shows up towards the end.
Arrest that creature.
This is the instrument of my God.
He can speak.
Your God, eh? Sergeant. Your God didn't save you, did he? Huh?
Yeah, it's really only like the last third of this movie where it really kind of steps into its own and out of the shadow of the original. And I do really like the ending. I think it's a really good ending. It's fine. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Number 7 is Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. This one is like the pretty good halfway point between Escape and Battle. It does continue to explore the themes from Escape, where now we have, essentially there has been a disease that has wiped out most of the pets on Earth, so apes have now been domesticated, essentially. So then we have the rise of Caesar, and that whole thing, and eventually the ape revolution, and we get to see that aspect of it, and that's pretty cool. It's pretty well done. The themes are explored with some actual depth and nuance, unlike in Battle. And yeah, as far as that aspect of it goes, it's really cool to see these events play out after we've only heard about them in previous movies. So that was kind of cool. They could have been done better, but overall they were done well. The music is good, the acting is good.
Fire!
But ultimately, it's not great. There are some moments that are hard to take seriously. They're a little too narm, I believe is the word. But overall, I think it works. My score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 6 is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. This one covers a very similar story to Conquest, and I think it does it slightly better. And it helps that it's not just doing it in the exact same way. It's a similar series of events, but they play out differently. There's a different cause of everything, and yeah. There are two things I think this movie has working against it. The first is James Franco. He's a good actor, but I think he was miscast here. Most of his scenes, he just doesn't seem to have the proper emotion. I don't know if he's phoning it in or just wasn't the right fit. And the other is the CGI. Now, in 2011, the CGI in this movie was next level. 14 years later, it looks good, but you can just, looking at between this movie and the movies that have come since, you could just see how much the ape CGI has improved. And this is an important building block for that, but that doesn't change the fact that there are quite a few bits where the apes don't quite look real. Other than that, this is a really good movie. James Franco aside, the acting is fantastic, and it is a goddamn crime that Andy Serkis has never won an Oscar. The music is great, it's shot well, it's edited well. There are one or two plot conveniences that are a little eh. Aside from that, things make sense, the script is pretty tight. Like Tim Burton's version, this movie puts a new spin on the classic line, "Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape." But unlike in Tim Burton's version, here it actually works.
Go on. Get back in your cage. I'm warning you. Go on, get! That's it. See? That's what you get! Now get back! What's wrong with you? Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape!
And overall, this is a solid building block and very much a return to form for the franchise after Tim Burton tried and failed. Score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 5 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I was excited for this movie when I saw the trailers, but I was also concerned, new director, largely new creative team. I don't know, I had my doubts, but thankfully those doubts were put to rest. This is where we get into the movies that are just great. I do think it's a hair too long. There's not much in the way of padding, but maybe a little, there's maybe a couple bits that could have been trimmed out. And the pacing does feel a little weird. Not enough to take me out of it, but just I don't know, I feel like it takes us a little too long to meet the main villain, which is a shame because Kevin Durand is killing it as Proximus.
Wonderful day, yes? You two have come a long way. An ape and a human traveling together is quite an adventure.
The CGI in this movie is the best it has looked in any of these movies. Their technology has come a long way, and Practical effects have their uses, but there's some stuff that's just better digitally. There's some things that are better done practically, and there are some things that are better done digitally. And this just looks fantastic. I love that we're finally starting to catch up with the original Planet of the Apes, or the equivalent of those events in this timeline. Hell, there was even an Easter egg in Rise, alluding to a space mission that had gone missing. So hopefully that pays off in the next movie. I love the story here. We get two sides that are... Obviously, we have hero and villain, but the villain isn't just completely one-dimensional. It's not that he has a point, it's like, I understand. I don't agree with him, but I understand him. And those are some of the best villains, so they, in that regard, no notes.
Noah, yes. Welcome, Noah. May, you are familiar with the concept of evolution? That is the human label, yes? The advancement that I crave requires time. Vast amounts of time that I do not have. Unfortunately, I am but a mortal ape. So, this is why I need to get the knowledge inside that vault. I believe it will deliver instant evolution.
I really like May in this. I wish she had been a little bit more fleshed out, but ultimately I think that was in service of the role she plays, in that this is where I'm going to get into spoilers. She is kind of in that morally gray area, where she is not really fully good, she is not really fully bad, and yes, we are rooting for her because she's human, but ultimately she is not fully in line with the actual heroes of the story. And so that actually works. It makes things more interesting with that conflict within the group, where she has her own motives, she has her own agenda. And I think that aspect of it works really, really well. Score is 4 out of 5. Number 4 is War for the Planet of the Apes. This one used to be my number 1. It's not anymore. My opinions have changed over time, but it's still a damn good movie. I think my problem is that it feels a little too similar to Dawn, in terms of tone, in terms of themes, and yeah. I mean, that comes from having the same director in Matt Reeves, and he does a great job with both movies. I just wish that they had done a little bit more to differentiate this movie from that one. The story is different, but there are other aspects of it that just feel a little too samesies. But it's still fucking great. Andy Serkis is, once again, phenomenal. The rest of the acting is all good, if not great. Woody Harrelson, kind of playing a two-dimensional villain. His character is... He doesn't really get any development. He gets fleshed out a bit. Like I said before, these movies have always just been inherently silly, and the new movies still understand that. With those just campy elements and also intentional humor, just like Bad Ape.
34, 35, 36, 37, 30, 37. I do. What now? What? Oh no! Oh no! No, 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 no. Okay.
And we also get heartwarming stuff like Maurice just helping, we never learn her real name because she's mute, but Nova, the girl that they pick up. And he's just such this, like, sweet, kindly old orangutan. And it's wonderful to see. It's so sweet. And ultimately, I like that this movie kind of tied up this storyline with a bow. Because then Kingdom was able to pick up after a significant time jump, but still feel like it's part of the same universe. A great ending to a great trilogy. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 3 is Escape from the Planet of the Apes. This was the peak of the sequels following the original. Yes, this movie retcons the ending of Beneath, kind of, but ultimately I think it works in its favor. The story here is well told, the script is tight, the acting is definitely a step up from the second movie. It's wonderful to have Roddy McDowall back as Cornelius after he was absent in the second movie. He and Kim Hunter have just such good chemistry. Even behind the ape suits, they still have married couple energy, and it's wonderful to see. Yeah, out of the 4 sequels to the original, this is one that does the best at tackling its themes and subtext without, making it just anvilicious and on the nose. Brought to you by the Department of Redundancy Department. The cinematography is a step up. The edit, all the technical aspects are a step up from Beneath, including the ape suits. We get new layers to the returning characters, and the new characters who have substantial roles all get at least some depth, which is nice to see. The musical score is great. Some of the other movies can get a little predictable, especially Beneath and Battle. This one does not so much. It throws you some curveballs, and they pretty much always work.
Sarah, I want that baby. If you won't give it to me, I'll shoot.
My God, stop him!
And we get more themes of, the other being feared, and apes having human intelligence compared to actual humans, and just the similarities and differences, and all that. It's wonderfully done. The score is 4 out of 5. Number 2 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This is the peak of the new trilogy, and really the new series. The CGI for the apes has gotten better since this movie, but this is the movie where the CGI for the apes became, fully convincing. Unlike Rise, the CGI here holds up, 99% of the time. I don't know how I would compare it to Kingdom in this regard, but as far as this trilogy goes, this one has the best human characters. They are the most fleshed out, they have the most development, and it works. And unlike with Woody Harrelson, the human villains in this one kind of have a point. You're still probably not on board with what they're doing, but you get it a little more. I keep adding modifiers. They have a point. It might not be the best point, but it's a point. And like in War, the cinematography in these new movies is just, even Rise, all 4 of these new movies, the cinematography is just far and away better than anything from the originals. Tim Burton's version was actually kind of a step up in terms of cinematography, but not really enough to have been worth mentioning. With Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, cinematography was a small step up, but it was still mostly just standard. With these movies, they just took it up a notch. It is just masterfully done. I love War.
I love War.
But Dawn is just that much better. Or rather, it was a step down from Dawn. This is really a great example of both sides have a point, because, both sides just want to survive, and it's been so long without them contacting each other. And so, but then we have this clash. And it's so good, I don't even have the words for it. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Finally, as you've probably figured out by process of elimination. My number one is the original Planet of the Apes. It is insane to me that in 1968 alone, we got two all-time classic sci-fi movies. This and 2001: A Space Odyssey. There's something really, really special about years where we get like two or more classics in the same genre. Now, the apes are very obviously just people in suits, but for 1968, they look fantastic. And this movie, out of the original 5 at least, this is the best movie. The first 30 minutes or so are an excellent example of how to use show, don't tell. There is minimal dialogue. Most everything is conveyed through other means. It is a masterclass in that regard. We have like one of the most iconic lines in anything.
Go
get him.
Taylor! Why did you run away?
Security police.
I'm in charge of this man.
No longer, madam. He is now in the custody of the Ministry of Science.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
We had one of the most iconic endings of all time, which is...
Oh my God. I'm back. I'm home. All the time. We finally really did it. You maniacs! You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
This is actually an adaptation of a book, and so was the remake, which it's technically not a remake. It's an adaptation of the book. And Tim Burton's version was actually more faithful to the book, up to and including the nonsensical ending. And I honestly think that the filmmakers in '68 made the right choice, because the ending in Burton's version makes no goddamn sense. What a fucking twist. And it's even foreshadowed. Like, if you look closely, when they show the map of the terrain, you can tell that it is that area. It is, like, within riding distance of the Statue of Liberty. Like, that area of New York State. I feel like one thing that a lot of people miss with these movies is that they expect them to be so serious. No, these have always been inherently silly movies. And this movie understands that there's literally a scene where 3 apes who are on the council mime the actions for see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil.
If he did not come from another planet, then surely he sprang from our own. Yes, sprang. As an animal psychologist, I have found no physiological defect to explain why humans are mute.
Objection! Sustained!
Their speech organs are adequate. The flaw lies not in anatomy, but in the brain.
Objection! Sustained!
Yes, it's silly, but that's exactly why it feels right at home in this movie and in this franchise. And I know Charlton Heston was apparently kind of a piece of shit, and in spite of that, he was a very talented actor, and that is really showcased in this movie. My score is 5 out of 5. Hey everyone, what's your ranking? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that. If you don't like the video, tell me why. Try to be constructive. And then subscribe anyway. You'll be notified when I upload a new video. Watch that, and tell me what you like or don't like about that one. Like I said in a previous video, due to my current job situation, I might have to skip a week or two going forward like I have previously, but I will try to have one out at least every other week. That's all for now. Stay safe in these crazy times.